All right, we are finally outside testing this thing, and here's my friend Paul. We are about to shoot a short film. I'm helping with sound, and yeah, I've been doing some short film stuff recently a lot for the past week, and doing sound is pretty fun overall. I think the job is called production sound mixer, right?
Yeah.
That's what Jasmine called me, so I was like, okay, sounds good to me.
Sound king, sound wizard, and all. It all gets the idea.
Basically, the job is to set up the sound. So I put lavalier mics on everyone, and then I also hold the boom. I use the Tentacle Sync Track E's with their own lav mics, separate lav mics, and I also have the Sennheiser MKH50, there you go, as my boom. It's better for indoors, but right now we're just waiting on other friends so we can drive together since it's in LA, gonna be pretty far. And I'm also testing this camera again for vlogging purposes to see how it performs outside.
Seeing double, there they are.
Yeah, there they are, okay. But they were seeing double. But right now we don't have an ND filter on this thing, so the skies are definitely going to be blown out. I just wanted to see how it performs without one. I know I should probably have one on, but I'm just curious. I do have one, so I'll put it on later. But for this vlog, I'll probably actually cut between different things today and not just have it be a one take. I don't think it'll be too long. I'll just like mash the clips together and export it right after that. So it shouldn't take much time at all. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. Let's see if they want to say hi. Also, I realize that the volume is like not great. Hi guys, morning. Okay, so we are testing out a microphone right now. It is the Rode Wireless Pro. You can't see it because I actually have it in my shirt. I kind of don't like the look of it when it's outside of my shirt. So I'll go ahead and show it. It's this thing right here. And hopefully it's capturing my audio and I'm doing this correctly. Everything should have been correct, but this is how it looks like outside of the shirt. So I use this magnet that it comes with to put it inside of my shirt instead. And I don't have a mirror with me, so I can't tell how it looks now, but I think it just in general looks better. So okay, hopefully messing around with that microphone didn't mess with the audio too much. Okay, so right now we are gonna talk about our experience with doing a whole bunch of short films the past week and a half. It was 4 short films, or 4 days and 2 short films. The first 3 days were the first short film, and the second one was like just 1 day. And it was a really fun experience overall. The short film is called Holiday Feast. It's gonna come out sometime around December or the end of the year. But it might just be like the first version just to have it because it is called Holiday Feast. So the director wants it to be out by then. So I'm looking forward to seeing that because that was a really fun project to work on, and there was just a lot of interesting moments for sure. I'm not going to talk about it too much here, but I'll definitely, like, maybe if I remember, leave a link or something down below. But that was a really fun experience. I got to work with a lot of new people, a DP that was using a Blackmagic Ursa, and it was like super high quality, 12K. He had this whole swivel arm thing, and it was all legit basically. And I was very impressed by the image quality that it produced. It's kind of crazy how, I'm sure he edited it somewhat, but even in the monitor, like, you can tell that the image just looks so much better than, for instance, like this camera or a regular Sony mirrorless camera basically, which makes sense because those cameras are meant for film production and high quality stuff. So that was a good experience. I got to see someone smash a candy glass cup onto someone's head. That was very entertaining. And then the one I worked yesterday, I was vlogging for, and I'm trying to do this thing where I don't edit as much, so most of my time goes into like actually doing other things I enjoy. I'm not very fond of editing, so I'm trying my best to sort of come up with a method where I can just film things during the day and then compile it in the end, just throw it together really quickly, basically no edits. It's literally just dump everything into Premiere Pro and then overlay it on what I'm saying and then export it, and then that's it. And with the Sony ZV-E1 that we just recently got, hopefully that is much easier to do, especially since we have good stabilization. I was hoping that the audio would sound a lot better from the camera itself. It kind of isn't good enough in my opinion. I've had a lot of experience with a lot of different microphones, so I guess I'm pickier than most people, but let's just hope this microphone right here, the Rode Wireless Pro, is good enough for me. Like good enough to the point where like I can just upload it right away. I don't need to do any editing. Because I'm sure if I were to edit the Sony ZV-E1 audio, it would sound a lot better. And it wasn't bad, it was just inconsistent when I did the vlogging. That was the only thing that I was kind of saddened about. But everything else about the camera it's great, so I'm looking forward to practicing more and seeing the results of my practice, basically. I think vlogging is really fun. It's just the editing aspect that always stopped me from trying it and doing it, because I always thought if I am gonna shoot a vlog or make a vlog, then I have to edit it at the end. And if I keep doing that, that's just me doing a whole bunch of edits versus like me putting my time into piano or making music or something that I feel more passionate about. So that's just where I'm at right now. Overall, yesterday was really fun. It was a really tiring day at the end because I just felt like I've been doing this a lot the past week. Just to give some context, the first, I think 2 days we had to wake up around 3 a.m., 4 a.m. and drive to LA, and that takes a pretty long time. Actually, with no traffic, it only took maybe like 40 to 50 minutes. So with traffic going back, it took 2 hours. So that's crazy. It's just, traffic kills the soul. Time just multiplies when there is traffic versus there isn't. So even on the third day, when we went later in the day, the disadvantage of that, it was going around 7 a.m. It took 2 hours to get there. So it was kind of, yeah, a lot of driving, and driving makes me tired. So that's part of the reason why I feel super tired now. But super grateful that my friends actually drove us. So I didn't actually actively drive all 4 days. I only drove 2 days. So I'm very grateful for that. And the day overall yesterday was solid. We did it at an escape room, and it's always fun to just film stuff in an escape room because like they have good sets and everything there is like pretty, it's fun to be in there. It's also kind of scary, even though we're not actively doing the escape room, because there are some scary ones that we filmed in. But meeting the actors, working with everyone, so I know a fair amount of them already, so just building that relationship and just like continuing to do cool things with film. That's something I'm happy I got to do. I worked sound. It's called production sound mixing. I set up some lavalier mics on the actors, and then I just use the Zoom F6 with my Sennheiser MKH50 with a boom pole, and I basically just record the audio. And I think for what it was, I enjoyed the experience. Being sound, it takes a lot of effort. Like you have to always be active, adapting to whatever the DP wants, because they're setting up the shot. You sort of just have to get out of their way, make sure the boom is not in the shot, not in frame, and get as close as possible so that you can record the best audio you can. Usually sometimes that's really hard because it's a wide shot. In those cases, you just have to rely on the lavalier mics. But there's a lot of coverage. Coverage is basically like we're shooting the same scene, same dialogue over and over and over again from different angles and different takes, different like sort of improvisation sometimes, giving the actors more leeway. So it's very interesting to see all of that happen. But at the same time, it's also very like, ooh, like if you're the sound person, you just have to like, oh, same thing, same thing, same thing. You just have to like record the sound. So I think in terms of variety, I think the DP would be more fun if I could switch roles. I also would like to eventually try directing. I think that would be even more interesting. Yesterday I did use the gimbal real quick with the Blackmagic 4K. That was what we recorded with. So that was fun. I just like variety, I guess. And I'm working sound like constantly for the past week and a half for probably a collective of 40 hours now. I am officially kind of tired of it. So I just don't want to do that for a while, maybe a year or two, and just like try other things. So if my friends ask me for short film help with production sound mixing, I'll probably lend them my gear, but I don't think I want to be like actively being the sound person. But it was fun to experience it. And that's basically it for this vlog. It's just me talking about that experience. I feel like I need more practice actually telling stories and maybe structuring my delivery, but this is also just me practicing. I'm not hand-holding right now because I do want to figure out the whole S-Log3 thing with importing those LUTs, so I can just use the LUTs right away. So I have to expose correctly for this one, test out different LUTs, then export it from my computer to this, and then I just not need it anymore for at least like more controlled environments. As long as I'm exposing the same way, it should produce the same image. But yeah, this is a mixture of me experimenting plus just talking about my experience. Hopefully, eventually, I no longer need to talk about the Sony ZV-E1 and all the things I'm trying to do to make this whole process easier. I think maybe I'll make like a solid video highlighting all of these things in a more concise way afterwards. But for now, this is the process, and I'm just gonna enjoy doing it. And hopefully this was recording the whole time. All right.